Today, some new data on incomes. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, working on the latest post covering finance and problem news with a distinctively Australian flavour. The Australian Bureau of Statistics today has released their characteristics of employment data to August 2019, and it makes very interesting but concerning reading. So they say that the median employee earnings was, per week, $1,100, and it's up by 2.3% since August 2018. More employed people, they say, had access to flexible hours and regularly worked from home, while fewer usually worked overtime or were on call. And independent contractors were most likely to work in construction or professional scientific and technical services. But look at this table. It splits out the data between employees, male employees, and female employees. And what it shows us is that, in fact, between 2018 and 19, male employees on average only saw their weekly income rise by 1.3%, and only 1.6% on average per annum between 2014 and 2019. Whereas female employees had a 4.3% rise of their weekly income between 2017 and 18, and a 2.9% average change each year between 2014 and 19. Now that raises some very interesting questions. Why the disparity? Well, the ABS says that in August 2019, the median earnings per employee was $1,100, and that increased from $1,075 a year ago. Median weekly earnings increased at a slower rate for male employees than female employees over the past 5 years, in part because the proportion of male employees working part-time increased. And they also went on to say that the lowest and highest earnings quantiles grew slightly faster than the median. Earnings for the 10th and 25th percentiles increased by 2.8% per annum and 2.9% per annum respectively, and the 90th percentile by 2.4% compared to 1.9% per annum growth in the median over the last 5 years. Now, looking across the states and territories, the state or territory with the highest median weekly earnings was the Australian Capital Territory at $1,300 per week, followed by Western Australia and the Northern Territory, whose median earnings were both $1,200 a week. The lowest were Tasmania at $1,000 a week and South Australia at $1,100 per week. And of the state capitals, Perth and Sydney had the highest at $1,200 per week. And outside the capital cities, the highest median earnings was regional Western Australia at $1,225 per week, and the lowest was regional Victoria at $950 a week. And then they went on to look at earnings by occupation of main job. And they said that in August 2019, the occupations with the highest median weekly earnings were managers at $1,726 per week and professionals $1,500 a week, while the lowest were labourers at $749 a week and sales workers at $600 per week. Those occupations also had the highest and lowest median hourly rate. Managers at $46.90 and professionals at $46 recorded the highest hourly rate, while sales workers and labourers earned $25 per hour. The gap between the median hourly rates for occupations is smaller than for the weekly measure, partly due to the difference in hours typically worked in each occupation. And it's also worth noting that the largest changes between 2014 and 2019 are amongst managers and professionals, compared with some of the other categories. Now, they also looked at earnings of the main job. In August 2019, the industries with the highest median weekly earnings were mining, $2,300 a week, electricity, gas, water and waste services at $1,597 per week, finance and insurance services at $1,500 a week, and public administration and support services at $1,495 a week. But the industries with the lowest median weekly earnings were accommodation and food services at $500 a week, retail trade at $700 a week, and arts and recreational services at $898 a week. Now, one of the most interesting things in this report was the change in working arrangements, because between August 2015 and August 2019, there was an increase in the proportion of employed people who had an agreement to work flexible hours or regularly worked from home. And over the same period, there was a decrease in the proportion of employed people who were usually required to work extra hours or overtime, or usually required to be on call or standby. And the proportion of employed people who usually work shift work or who have Monday to Friday as set working hours has remained steady across the period. And finally, they also looked at independent contractors. Their surveys allowed them to separate people's employment relationships to be classified either as employees, independent contractors, or other business operators. In 2019, the industries that had the highest percentage of independent contractors were construction, 27%, administration and support services, 17%, and professional, scientific and technical services at 14%. And the largest proportional increases for independent contractors from 2014 to 2019 were seen in transport, postal and warehousing at 10.7 to 13.2%, and information, media and telecommunications from 5.7 to 9.3%. And the industries with the highest proportion of business operators were agriculture, forestry and fishing at 48%, and rental, hiring and real estate services at 19%. And the industries with the highest proportion of non-employees, both independent contractors and other business operators, were agriculture, forestry and fishing, and construction. And I just want to highlight again that in the construction sector, there is a very significant proportion of people who are independent contractors. And they are, of course, the ones currently under significant pressure when it comes to work. So in summary, this allows us to get below the hood to understand why it is that households are under so much financial pressure. Indeed, across the board, there are significant issues with regard to wages growth, and the fact that the significant wages increases are in part-time female employed staff is once again very significant. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.